How's it going, everybody? Uncle David here. Man, I just finished watching Solo Leveling Season 2, and there's probably going to be some spoilers in this video, so, don't watch it if you don't want to see any spoilers, but in Season 2, man, it got me pretty hyped. It was more like, I watched it all, and then I watched last week's season, or last week's episode again, where Jin Woo fights the Ant King. Man! Such great animation, such great music, and the soundtrack where the music comes in at the beginning of before the fight, during the fight, and then the end of the fight. Ooh, that's great. I was actually not too excited about the season 1 because he was still weak in season 1. But season 2 was good. He was all strong again, so he just started laying the smack down on everybody. But Solo Leveling is kind of like it's like breaking all the records. And then it broke its own record. It was most reviews on Crunchyroll. It beat One Piece. It's the top 30 on my anime list. But I'm just another guy who started reading the manhwa 8-9 years ago. And I still remember, even back then during the Pokemon X and Y, I was talking about how my Pokemon were leveling up mid-fight just in order to win, Jin Woo in his fight against the ant. Whew. In his fight against the ants, he was pretty evenly matched against the king, but he leveled up mid-fight in order to win. At least that's what I felt like. People have different opinions, but I felt like it was a pretty good fight there. Running around at the speed of light. And then I think they were pretty evenly matched up until the end. But yeah, you guys should read the manhwa after the season 2 ended. There's no announcement for season 3, but they have a small cliffhanger for what's gonna happen in the future. But the manhwa is all finished. They even have a sequel to the manhwa that I started reading. It just started last year, I think. But yeah, I think in the manhwa, it was the manhwa is the anime is probably only halfway through, and the manhwa is completely finished. But if you, they already announced some of the characters that's gonna show up in the next season with all the monarchs and stuff. But man, I don't think they told you, but I think he's already defeated one of the monarchs in season 2. But you don't know the guy was a monarch. And then all the other S ranks, they finally show some of the pictures of other S ranks in the other countries, but right now you only see the S ranks in Korea and Japan. But the ending, they show the Chinese and the American. I forget who else is in there. But at the end they show I think it's Jin Woo's dad. I think even in the anime, I don't really, or in the manhwa, I don't even remember what his dad really does besides being super strong. But yeah. Oh my god. Every time I see a cool fight scene, I just want to exercise and go out and fight a bear, but it's dark outside. It's also pollen palooza out there. For instance, it's 60% more pollen than last year, but what else I was gonna say? It's so leveling. But yeah, even when the manhwa was coming out, it was breaking all kinds of records back then. It came out I think 9 years ago. And I remember even when I was at work back then, 8 years ago or whatever, I was walking around work and people were I see these two guys talking, I don't really care. I'm minding my own business, and then I hear one of them say Shadow Monarch. I'm what? Even back then, they were breaking all kinds of records. And But yeah, because of Solo Leveling, like every other manga was like doing this level up system. It's almost like when Sword Art Online or whatever made like a bunch of people do like these trapped inside VR game where your life's on the line, or like all these like isekais. But Solo Leveling, like even though the level up system already existed, Solo Leveling made it so like every other manga was a level up system. And you know what? I read most of them, and it's like the same formula. And half of them were actually pretty good. They're pretty decent. But there's no announcement for season 3, even though they have enough for like another 2 seasons. But the manhwa is completely done and in this, so I highly recommend you check it out and read it, because the fight against the ants was actually it was a little bit different than the manhwa. They did it differently in the anime. But everything else is pretty closely, follows the manhwa pretty closely. Oh my god, I'm dying. Oh. What else was against Solo Leveling? Yeah. Oh my god, I think that's it. Solo Leveling. How do I pause this? Yeah, so in Solo Leveling, the whole premise of the show was like, they're like these gates that open up randomly, and everybody's ranked like E to S, and some of them gain magical powers, and they're called hunters, and they go in these gates to beat the boss and leave. But all the hunters, their power doesn't change. They're just born with it. When the main character was like an E rank, and then he gets the level up system, and becomes like, I don't know, infinite rank. Oh, and to keep pausing this video, but yeah, the show just keeps getting more and more ridiculously awesome, and yeah, I highly recommend it. I actually think the manhwa is better, but that's because I read it first like 8 years ago when there was like 40 chapters out. Like everybody else on the internet just be like, yeah, I read that crap thing 8 years ago. Yeah, Solo Leveling. I think its other name was like Only I Level Up. But yeah, it's great. So yeah.